Hey, hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Dump. Um, now, should I start over? You know what? I'm not going to start over. I clicked I just put my hand on my mouse, and I was about to restart because I said but I'm going to power through it because I want to get better at doing this all in one take. So you're going to get the unadulterated first ever time I've ever fucked up and left it in. Because I need to learn from my mistakes, and I'm not going to learn if I keep taking it out. Anyway, I've been kind of wanting to sit down and talk again in front of the mic, but I just kind of never got around to it. I just reset up my computer, like my desk and my monitors, and it's nice. I'm comfortable at my setup again, where I have my big screen and my two little screens to the side, and it's just I feel better. I feel more comfortable being on my computer. I feel better about maybe getting back to work and editing things. And I'm comfortable. So, yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. I have my mic in a very comfortable position right now, and it's nice. So, I had a lot of things on my mind the last time since I recorded. The first being to everyone that listens to this and lets me know and tells me you appreciate it. Son of a bitch. That might be hard for me today. I just want to let you know that I really appreciate that. Sorry, I just kind of sat down. My brain's not been doing so well recently, and hearing you guys tell me that you enjoy listening to me ramble, and that you like hearing me talk by myself for like an uninterrupted like 12 minutes, kind of means the world to me. So thank you for listening. I really do appreciate that. And if you continue to listen, that would mean the world to me. Because this is just something I do to get off my chest. And if you take anything from this, that's fantastic. This is going to be kind of heavy. So this is trigger warning stuff. Stuff about, existentialism and death and dying. So if you're not a fan of this, you're probably going to want to skip ahead of it. But it might be because I'm going through a really bad brain time right now. But I've been thinking a lot about death recently, and it's kind of bleeding into like everyday life and permeating my normal thoughts. Not that I think about killing myself. I don't do that anymore. But it's starting to weigh heavy on me, the concept of dying and the fact of how inevitable it is, that it's going to happen. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. The fact that like the things you're experiencing right now aren't going to last forever. And literally everything is finite. And I think the first time I got hit with a dose of that, the biggest dose I ever got was when I watched my dad die in the hospital. Or, I sat there all day while my dad lay dead in a hospital bed, brain dead. And we had to say goodbye to him that day. I think that was the day that everything changed for me. And I became a different person. Because that is some very, very heavy stuff. And I'm sure you can imagine sitting there hearing me talk about it. And so I've been carrying that with me a long time, that, I'm just going to say it out loud. I'm going to die one day. I'm going to die. And I don't know what's on the other side. I don't know if there's a forever. I don't know if it's just going to be nothing. I just know it's going to happen. And that's it. So it's thinking about stuff like that. It's kind of, it brings me on the verge of panic attacks. Like do you ever get like this, if you start thinking about stuff that really like makes you nervous or stuff that makes you very anxious, like you get these hot flashes, like your face starts to get warm, you feel like you're bristling up, you're like you're it's kind of like you're gripping your seat. I feel that, like I bristle up and my face gets hot and I get flushed. And it's freaky, man, and I don't like it. And I'm not sure if this comes with being self-aware and just kind of thinking about this stuff all the time. Because there's people out there like, yeah, I'm gonna die one day. What of it? You know, I got my time here. I cashed in maybe my 70 years, and I'm heading out. I'm checking out. I'm done. And that just, I don't know. I can't do that. I've thought about death ever since I was a child. I remember talking to my mother in the bathroom one time. You know, as a little kid, she's doing her makeup, and I'm looking up at her, and I'm like, you know, what happens when we die? I'm talking, I'm like 4 years old, maybe. My mom, you know, my mom's always very blunt. She never really sugarcoated a lot of things for me ever, actually, in my life. And I think she just kind of said, like, you know, you live and you die, and that's kind of like it. And the way she kind of put it is like, maybe by the time you get to the old people's age, you've kind of accepted it. And I kind of hope I do. When I always imagine dying, I always imagine dying like alone. Like I'm never suffering, but it's slow. And maybe I'm in hospice, or I'm like in a hospital bed, or I'm just at home, aware of the fact that I'm going to die, and it's slow, and there's nobody there. Like you imagine, like you're in a nursing home looking out the window. People shuffle in, shuffle out, and then I just close my eyes and I die. And that freaks me out. Like ever since then, because of that, I can't sleep in the dark with no sound. I can't exist in the dark with no sound. I hate the dark. It's not even like being in the dark outside, because there's things going on outside. If I sit alone in a dark room, it starts to fuck with me. I couldn't take baths as a child because of that. It had to be showers. I love showers because the water running on my head distracts me. And it sucks. And when I mentioned being self-aware of this, I feel like people can just turn off their brains and are not, like, not that they're not conscious of it, but they don't think about it as much as I do. I feel like I think about it just an incessant amount. I'll be at work, you know, stocking shelves or doing this and whatnot, and it'll hit me. I don't know what it is. Like I'll put a can, slide it on, and then boom, like your family's gonna die. Either before you or after you. And I don't know. It sucks. It really does. And I wish I could stop thinking about it all the time. I really do. Because I want to keep it a buck. That's really not fun to think about, you know? It's a bummer. And I'm trying really hard in my life to be positive and not be a bummer and be calm and be chill. And try to make the most of what I've got while I've got it, you know? Things aren't super spectacular for me right now. I'll be honest. You know, but at the end, like, it's not one of those things where I'm dismissing my struggles, like my mental health, by saying, like, well, at least I got a roof over my head. I should at least be happy about that. But take it like this. Like, at least I do have a roof over my head. I can afford rent. I can afford food. I can afford, you know, miscellaneous stuff if I wanted to. I want to be able to turn my brain off. And I want it to stop. I want the screaming to stop. And I want to be able to sit in silence. For once in my goddamn life, I want to be able to sit in silence. And I do not think after 26 years that is too much to ask. Do you? I really needed to get that off my chest. Because it is just, I've been stewing in it silently. And I hate talking to the same people all the time. Because subconsciously I do feel like I'm burdening them, even though I know I'm not. But it's nice to throw it out there to whomsoever. Because too long long story short, too long didn't read. I'm afraid of fucking dying. I don't want to die. I don't. If life could perpetually be like this forever, that's okay with me. That's fine. You know? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But that's what's been on my chest recently. I'm going to record one of these right after because I kind of want to keep these, cohesive and keep a theme to them. So I'm sorry today's episode was a bummer. They're not always going to be cheerful. Again, this is my diary in a way. This is my journal. So if you didn't vibe with this episode, I'm really sorry. But it's going to be how it is. If you listen to it the whole way through, thank you for listening to me. If you skipped all the way to the end, I might time code it for people just so they can skip. I don't know. Thank you for being here at the end for me. Again, thank you to everyone who listens. You mean the world to me. Thank you for messaging me about it and checking in on me and for commenting. That's wonderful. I'm not begging for comments, but if you really do want to leave a comment, that'd be great. Maybe leave stuff for me to talk about. I don't know. What are your thoughts on things? I don't want to know your thoughts on death. We don't have to talk about that. Instead, what's your favorite dessert and why? I'll go first. Mine's vanilla ice cream. Just a plain bowl of vanilla ice cream. It's simple. I can pull it out of the fridge and I can eat as much as I want. I can determine how much I want. So with that, thank you for listening to the Dump Podcast. Please take care of yourself and drink some water. And thanks. Have a good one.